Hello everyone, good morning to one all present over here. Welcome to Prolim's Tech Talk. Today we'll be discussing about how to master Mendix workflows to optimize business processes. Our presenter for today is our esteemed software engineer, Mr. Faisal Mirji. We have open discussion session once the presentation is completed. If anyone has queries, please bring it forward after this session. So, Faisal, over to you.
Yeah, hi. Hi, myself Faisal Ahmed Mirji. Uh, I am an intermediate Mendix certified developer. I've been involved with Mendix. I have been developing Mendix application from over 2.5 years here at Prolim. So here today we are here to discuss about how we can master business processes using workflow approaches inside Mendix. So I can just carry on with the presentation. So today's agenda, we have I'll be speaking more about what are workflows and how we can use them. And after that, we'll compare what are workflows and Mendix, what is the difference, and microflows, how we can differentiate between the microflows and workflows. And then we can discuss about the use cases where we can implement workflows. So yeah. So introduction to workflows. So if anybody has any idea about what is a workflow, then then they are free to then they are if anybody can explain what is a workflow. Yeah, I'll start then. So a workflow is a management oriented component to make management or business processes easier. So that is what is a workflow. It is a tool where it is a component to make management and business processes easier. It will do the heavy management. Business processes can be prepared within minutes. In using workflows, we can prepare business processes and heavy management activities inside the Mendix. We can prepare it within minutes. It is very much time consuming using the workflow commons module. So process which involves heavy approvals and delegation of tasks. Workflow has its own workflow engine, which run on the runtime, but it is designed on the backend. So yeah. So the process modeling. Workflow enables you to model the overall flow of the business process, including the sequence of activities and transitions between stages. You can define the steps, dependencies, and conditions required to move from one stage to another. So we can I can give you the process modeling itself. Like the process modeling is something that workflow how we can configure the workflow uh, inside the Mendix. So I'll just give you a demo how we can add that. Yeah. So this is my Mendix Studio Pro. So going from the first, the prerequisites are that from the marketplace we have to download the workflow commons module. Workflow commons. Workflow commons is already downloaded in my system, so I won't download it again. So after that, we just have to add a workflow and name it. Yeah. So workflow has its own start and end event, and these are the components that we can configure the workflow with. Yeah. So these are the different types of components. The decision, parallel split, jump to, end event, user task. User task is uh, most probably we use user task to assign tasks to different users or uh, different user roles. So we'll talk about that later as well. So this is about process modeling, how we can add a workflow and configure it inside the Mendix. User interactions. So we need user interaction. If we submit if we submit a form, that is the time when a workflow will trigger and create a task or assigns task to a particular person or a team. So user interaction workflow often involves user interaction at different stages. Mendix allows to create user interfaces associated with each step of the workflow. Yeah. Task assignment and management. So workflow also by default when you download the workflow commons module, it also enables you to also enables the workflow management module, which will uh, if which will enable all the user to manage the process, uh, manage the process and take a look or have a track of all the processes that are going on inside the workflow. Like I'll give an example here. We can yeah, so workflow admin. So we can give this workflow management to a particular target to master access to a particular user, and and the user can actually see and manage all these processes. Yeah. So here the master access, task assignment, and everything, they can check and whichever tasks are in progress, whenever it is started, the details, attachments, and documents, the target users, so possible actions. They can even pause the workflow. They can abort the workflow. They can even jump this activity, jump this stage itself. If you are stuck in a task one and due to some reason it is needed to be transferred to task three, so directly we can jump it over here. Yeah. If any questions about the workflows, anybody can ask. Feel free to ask. So workflows support collaboration among users by providing a centralized view of the process state. Users can view the progress, see which tasks are assigned to them or others, and communicate within the context of the workflow. Mendix offers communication features like comments, discussions, and notifications to enhance collaboration. So collaboration and communication is a very vital part. So integration and external services. Workflows can integrate external services or services to trigger actions or retrieve data needed during the process. Like from the existing process, if we want to retrieve data from external sources, be it a REST API, be it any of the other REST services. Inside the workflow itself, we can call a sub microflow and actually get the data from other external sources, and we can use it inside the workflow. Yeah, reporting and analytics. So as soon as we start using the workflow module, uh, uh, by default, the workflow modules creates a dashboard, uh, a dashboard which gives all the information and which can keep a track of all the data. So I'll give you an example of how we can give it to any of the users we want. We just have to add this page inside the navigation, and that user can see all the dashboard and all the data. So it has all the filters also enabled here. So for last 4 weeks, 12 tasks are in progress, none is completed. last 3 months. Yeah, is all the data here. So this dashboard is generated automatically. We don't need to actually, we just have to use the workflow module, and it will give all, it will populate all the charts and all the dashboard by itself. We don't need to do anything, just the benefits of using this workflow modules. So state management and exception handling. So as the diagram itself suggests, whenever a problem occurs, or if there is an incompatibility issue or something happens, the workflow module will actually create an exception and show it to the user that this particular task is actually incompatible, and it will be moved from the user. So that task will not be available because of this particular action. So it will basically report, it will report to the user, to the admin, that this particular issue is happened to this task, so that so that that admin can actually fix that or about that particular task. Comparisons between workflows and microflows. Yeah, so workflows support collaboration among users by providing a centralized view of the process status. Users can view the progress, see which tasks are assigned to them or others, communicate within the context of the workflow. Workflows are a business structure. Workflows are the business structure, whereas microflows are uh, microflows is a lightweight logic building, uh, lightweight logic building that can be used inside the workflows. Yeah, yeah, workflows operate at a granularly high level of granularity compared to microflows. They focus on managing the overall flow of process, including task approvals and transition between stages. Microflows level operate at finer level of granularity. So, yeah. Workflows are designed to involve end users and often include user interfaces for performing actions, making decisions. So the users are very much involved. User interaction is the key in the workflows, whereas microflows are basically mostly used for backend logics. Yeah, which can be used inside the workflows as well. Yeah, yeah. Microflows can be reused, but workflows cannot be reused as it is a structure of the process uh, that is a management process or the business process that we can get an idea after looking at a workflow. We can get an idea of what is the business structure, but whereas microflow, it is a more a logic. Yeah, we can manipulate the data inside the microflows, and with workflow we cannot do that actually. State management, yeah, I'll give one example of state management in workflows. The admin, whoever has the access, right, they can actually, and in this case I have just given the access to the user itself. The user actually got the task, so that task actually uh, they wanted to reassign it to some other user. So the state management actually can do using, we gave the access to the user that if they want to reassign it to somebody else, they can. Yeah. And the task is actually removed from the task inbox of that particular user. The whoever he has assigned, it will go to that task inbox. The use cases, we move on to the use cases now. So dynamic approval path. We can use the workflows can be used when we have want to actually uh, when the business demand is like when if there is a department and if there is a leave that we have to apply and the department head has to be notified or he has to approve or reject based on the departments, the managers will differ, right? So the task will be approved by different managers. So just I can give you an example of that also. So what I'm doing is I'm applying a leave. Mendix department itself. Yeah. So yeah, the user got so here have Harish Abberley, who is the department manager of Mendix. He will get the task. He will get in his task inbox. He has to approve or reject. Only Harish Abberley will get. If another application, so if I log into another user, then it will actually not allow. Other users will not be able to see that. This is actually handled by workflow itself. When task assignment is also done inside the workflow, whoever is the department manager will only get the task. I'll just show you that as well. Yeah. So whenever a leave is applied, so the managers will get notified. Only that particular manager is notified by adding logic inside this workflow using the microflow. So this is a leave approval. This is a workflow where we have used the task user task component, and here inside we have used a microflow to add logic such that only the manager will get the task, not all the users or anybody else. Only that particular manager will get the task here, and it will also give us the option. It will by default it will generate a page by itself. Yeah. So by default, a page is also generated if you use this task user task activity component. So this is how it is configured. Here now we'll check. We just created a leave application. Now we want to approve that. So we have to log into Harish and only in his task inbox, this leave application will come. Yeah. Yeah. In his open task, this leave request has already assigned to him. And once he opens that, the auto generated page which we just created right here, the auto generated page will have a timeline to track all the tasks of the workflow. It will give auto-generated comments section. We don't need to do anything. It will automatically give us an option to add comments and assign to somebody else. So here we can just approve or reject. So I just approved it here. So as soon as I approve, the task is disappeared from his task inbox. Harish's task inbox is Mendix department manager. So here you can see it is approved. So if we change the manager, it will go to his task inbox. Yeah, I'll just show that as well. Now I'm using testing as the department, so Anup will be notified, not Harish. So I'll log in as Harish. Yeah, for Harish, it is not notified because the department was testing. So testing department is taken care by Anup. Yeah. So Anup will be notified about the task and he can approve or reject it. So he rejects it. It is disappeared from his task inbox. Yeah. So this is a so moving on to the next use case, initiating workflow from external source. So here initiating workflow from external source, like in the previous case, we were initiating workflow on the leave application submit button, right? So here as well, when we are taking the same use case when we are submitting the leave application, right? If you want to trigger the workflow in another application, like if the manager is from uh, another application or from other source, like we have to just configure a REST API connect using the REST API connections. We can we can send the data of this leave, and while the data is fetched through REST API in another application, there we can call the workflow, and to that particular manager will be notified. So this is another case where we can use workflows. We can trigger workflows, or inside the event handlers, we can, whenever the object is created, we can create an event handler, and that event handler will uh, create call a workflow so that the particular manager itself gets the task. Yeah. Where else can we use workflows? Like we can also use workflows by scheduling by scheduling by setting a frequency and scheduling calling a workflow. Yeah, by using the scheduled events, we can just call a microflow. Inside that, we'll call a workflow. Uh, a example would be like today I have 10 leave applications which are pending. So tomorrow as well, if I set a scheduler for one day, tomorrow if I want to, uh, I want to just 10 leave applications that was not sent and that are not approved that was not sent to the manager. So I will schedule a workflow call at 20 at least 24 hours. I'll check if any of the leave applications are not sent to the managers. Inside the microflow, I'll check if any of them are pending, and at each 24 hours this will be checked, and if any of them is not sent, it will call a workflow, and those leave applications will be sent to the managers. Yeah. Yeah. Change management in workflows. Change management in workflows are the same. Like if a workflow is when we are using a workflow, and suddenly if the user is uh, if we want to assign it to some other users, yeah, that I already gave an example. We can reassign to another user, or the admin who has the master access can reassign it to the other user. Yeah. So case when change in workflow does not lead to compatibility issues. So the like if we have a workflow which is already triggered and is two stages, its two approval stages are completed, but but third, in the third, what they have done, they have added two more fields, and those two fields should also be included in that form. So in that case, addition of those fields will not cause compatibility issues. And there is a whole actually there is a whole file where, yeah, there are these are the cases where new form field while triggering the workflow, if any of the fields are added in the next step of the workflow, there won't be any compatibility issue, or in-flight workflows will not be affected. Condition validation at workflow task level, like in the next example where there will be a compatibility issue. So I'll give an example where this compatibility issue can come, and versioning of workflows will also take place. So there was a use case like in our application itself, where we had created a workflow which had three levels of approval, and and the application was live, and they were the users were using it. But after that, what happened? The users wanted some change in the workflow. They added some extra tasks, or they removed one task. So the earlier we had three stages of approval. In the next build, they wanted one less task to be added. So that would actually, but they had the condition like the earlier, all the data that we had earlier triggered workflows should have all the in-flight workflows should not be hampered. So in-flight workflows needed to use the old workflow itself, which had three approvals. So in that issue, what we actually did, that versioning was actually becoming an issue. So at that time, we had to clone the workflow. We had to uh, create a new workflow and then use that workflow from here on. So at that time, versioning of workflows was handled, and also old data, which was having three approvals, was also working fine. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it from my end. If any questions, and the stage is open for any questions, if anybody has any questions.
Hello, Faisal. Good evening.
Good evening, Harish.
I have one question here. Like you said, our workflows provides the task inbox page that is provided by our workflows model only, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is
So
an
can
inbuilt page that comes along with Workflow Commons module. Once we download that, we can actually use it in the navigation and use it.
so we can customize that also, like according to our UI.
Yeah, the task inbox page, right?
Like we don't let's say I have an example wherein I don't want to use the task inbox page from the workflow module. I want to create my own, so that is also possible, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can clone a task inbox page, and you can write this. You can change, customize it, and your page will also work.
Yeah. Yeah. And accordingly, all the other pages also, if I'm not wrong, like the task inbox page, the approval page, everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can duplicate it, and you can change it according to your customizations. That is also suggested.
Yes.
We do not recommend like to change the existing flow.
Okay.
We recommend
So
it
we
to
basically have to.
duplicate it and customize.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Ajal. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Harish.
And one more question, Faisal. Like here, you're directly assigning to the user roles, if I'm not wrong. Correct.
Yeah, all the users from
So
no, actually
particular use.
only the departments will only the department managers will were getting the task. But yeah, we can actually assign task directly to the
To
user roles.
single
It is
user.
actually very easy actually.
Yeah.
Using using this
Okay.
user task activity in the target users,
Huh.
we can directly actually write an XPath that will target all these user roles, like all the users from that user role. You can directly write system.user roles, and yeah, there are two user roles right now, administrator and a user. So all the users from this user role will get the task if I do this. What I actually did was only targeting one person, whichever was selected in the form, right? But here in the use, if we give it to a user role, a whole list of users will get the task in their task inbox page.
Oh, with the whole user roles.
Yeah, with whole users from this user role. Yeah, but only
Yeah.
one of
Okay.
them can assign it to themselves and work on it. But
And
everyone
that is like again
else, yeah, will get the task in the task inbox page. But only one guy can actually assign and complete the further flow. Only one guy can, but everybody else can see.
okay.
Any more questions, anybody?
I have one question. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear.
What is the difference that actually the workflow when compared to micro workflow? So apart from the example you have shown like a LMS, so lean management system. So actually, if the person is working on the task and the cumulative hours is deviating, so how this workflow is will be controlled when compared with the micro flow workflow?
Our workflow actually, like in this, like workflow modules also has the due date. Workflow also can, we can also assign a due date to a particular task, and that particular task will be handled using the workflow itself. The due date is triggered.
Okay.
Yeah. Here in the micro workflow, we can also calculate its due date.
Is it
Here,
like
Exactly.
you have to send email, Faisal, or it is default behavior?
this is default actually. No, my email trigger is not here actually.
Or notification goes to the user.
Yeah, due date has crossed, and yeah. This particular task will have, if I said 2 days, right? This particular task will be will have its due date set to 2 days. So while the admin also can get to know that this task is due, and track all the applications or tasks which are due, which are on time. Yeah, this will also help in actually tracking that. This will also help in dashboard as well. This is a default behavior.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Faisal, you can run the workflows parallelly and sequential also, right? Like a sequential approval and a parallel approval process.
Yeah, it workflow actually also has a parallel split where we can run two. We can yeah, we can use the parallel split, and we can use it parallelly. We can use two tasks parallelly, yeah, and sequentially
Oh,
also. Yeah, we have to configure this. Yeah,
yes, yes.
here jump to activity as well. If this particular task is again to be repeated or something, yeah, it will actually need two or three tasks more. We can use jump to after that. Yeah. If there are no more questions, then I think for what we are good.
Yes, Faisal,
Okay.
I'm good from myself.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining Problems Tech Talk for Mendix. It's great to have you all here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
for thanks everyone. Thanks, Faisal. It was a great session.
Yeah. Thanks, Anish. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Faisal.
Yeah. Thanks.